welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT, and tonight we are bringing you the Pagnian Import Super2 series live on iRacing, and it is round 3 tonight, so that sees us at Willow Springs International. It's a 5-round series. Next week we'll be heading to Winton Motor Raceway, and to finish up the series we will be at Motorsport Arena Oschersleben, so it's going to be exciting seeing the races around here in the VF Commodore and the FG Falcon around Willow Springs. Session details for tonight: we are in afternoon time, and then practice is 10 minutes. Weather conditions are clear. There's 10 minutes of qualifying with points on the line. The race is 40 minutes, and then there is cars capped at 47% fuel, so we've needed to see 1 to at least 2, with drivers having to conserve quite considerably to be able to make it through with only 1 pit stop, but given tonight it's likely we're going to have to see at least 2. And then looking at the championship standings, after round 2 we've got Damon McDonald leading the championship. He's on 508 points, followed by Damien Cross in P2 with 448 and Blake Urquhart P3 with 416, and it's pretty tight all the way down the list, so ample opportunities to move up those standings. Last week we were at Imola and we had Damon McDonald take the race win after qualifying second. It was Stephen Banks that was our pole setter, and then also scored the fastest lap bonus points, so having some pretty good pace, but unfortunately shot back with some incidents. So I'll jump over and take a look at the track. First time that we are broadcasting on Willow Springs. It is a new addition to iRacing. If you've been with us through many of our broadcasts in the past, Willow Springs has been a popular one in our Project Cars 2 format, so it was exciting seeing it come across onto iRacing. So a lot of our drivers coming across from that platform will be loving it out there tonight. So the track length is 3.91 kilometers, and we are in the USA, and it's going to be some incredibly hot track temperatures, and that's going to be playing havoc in those pit strategies as well. And we'll jump over and see how the drivers are going in the open practice. Let's get up some driver data. If you join into the stream, jump in the chat, say hello, don't be shy. Let us know who you're here to support, because we've got a lot of family and friends supporting the drivers out on track. So it's great that the family can get involved. Otherwise, a lot of our drivers love to jump back on and check out the stream after the race and see themselves getting some airtime. So hello to our drivers as they are watching this back later. This is all done live on the fly, so the drivers are out there at this point in time on the track. It's not recorded and streamed later. So we've got a fair chunk of the open practice done already. Kick off into the session a little bit later. Drivers finding it hard in the last couple of rounds to try and get times in with traffic. With Willow Springs, it's a much wider track, much faster, and ample opportunity to try and get around without being held up or cop those off limits unless you make a significant mistake. It's even qualifying last week. I think we had about 4 or 5 drivers in the end that not get a time in. Even some regular fast drivers struggling to get that in just because of the traffic and the track limits of Imola. As we cross over into qualifying, jump on board for a lap. Despite it being quite a big track, there's some very fast lap times. So minute 14 is the fastest time out there so far, and that's by Blake Urquhart, so 14.469. Stephen Banks is a few tenths away from that. Cast out, see if we've got any debut drivers. It doesn't appear to be. We've got 19 registered so far. Philip Buckland joined us last week after a spell of absence from the league races. And getting back on the track, but then having some PC issues, seeing him not be able to qualify or make the race. Some dramas there for Blake Gallen. Not sure if he decided to do the jump. He's just rolled over in that corner. I'm sure he's actually pretty good couple of spots here. You can get a couple of jumps. It's probably more impressive than the old jump at Bathurst at the Chase. So we'll probably see a bit of that at the end of practice, or even at the end of the race with the post-race shenanigans. Should they have enough fuel, that is. It's been pretty limited. Here we go, open practice done, so that's 10 minutes to go for qualifying. With points on the line, they're going to be needing to scramble out. Damien Cross was the first to load up, so he's going to be getting out. He's going to be fighting a car here. It's Duncan McCroskey. We've had a couple of action-packed rounds for the two starting rounds to the series. Usually round 3 I like to throw a curveball at the drivers for track choice. We didn't actually fully just pick out the series this time. We did actually just follow the official current version Supercars series from iRacing. A lot of our drivers do actually compete in the official series, plus a lot of other leagues tend to follow the Supercars official series. So that way at least they're getting to know the track. They can just jump into the legacy version of the Supercars and not have to worry about learning a whole lot of difference between the two. Callahan, that looks like to be commencing first time lap. Looks like Carly's just moved off track to let some traffic through. Looks like she's just gotten out of the pits. Changing car colour this week for Ricky Hyde. I love Willow Springs, one of my favourite tracks. So here comes first time laps now. 1:14 off the mark for Blake Urquhart. Similar times that we saw in the practice session. Not bad for getting in first time lap. To our series champion leader at the moment. Having two fantastic rounds. Pit strategy coming into play last week, making the early pit and coming up to the front four who had been battling intensely, was trying to conserve fuel for many laps. It's one of the most exciting runs of battles that we'd had, and then they came to be easy pickings by the time he caught up. He was not in need of conserving at the time. And the first four, then all peeled off into the pits and just left open track for Damon to be able to secure that win. See if you can get someone who's not too far. Starting a lap, we'll jump on board with them. Looks like everyone's just crossed the line. Dane McDonald just parked up the car. He took pole, 1:14.421. Just under a tenth away from Stephen Banks. Ricky Hyde also getting up into P3. It's had opening time from Blake Urquhart, 47.27. So start the lap, we could have jumped on board for him there. See, he's not too far behind. Dave Barney's just in that last sector now. We're going to jump on board with Callahan. Very fast turn one, watching that oversteer, did not go out into the dirt. He's going to park the car up. Bit of commentator's curse here. Willow, next victim for the commentator's curse. Hopefully not. There's 4 minutes left to qualifying. Coming down pit straight. Very nice line through turn one. A big long sweeping right. A little early on that turn in, but it can be made up. A couple of different lines can be done through turn two. Turn three. A bit of a chicane coming up through the crest. A hairpin into another hairpin. Engine braking to be able to pull the car back in, come down into the next couple of sharp corners. Watching that inside curve, will understeer that car out down into that right hand section of the dirt. Land flat stick down through the back straights with the left hand kick. Now start in, finish up sector 3. Watching not too much early turn in here, stay left as much as possible, then swing straight in. Oh, a little bit too late. You can save it, no. I think he's at the sweeping right. It's a new lap. See if we can get in the full lap we were on board with. Dane McDonald currently P4, only a few corners away from where Philip Furlow came unstuck. Open that line. This is where Furlow came undone. So he's fevering that throttle, no brakes, that's where the car's going to dive out to the left. His fastest lap. That wasn't a time lap, that may be an out lap. A bit of movement in pole position. Ricky Hyde's taken pole, 1:14.157. So nearly getting down into the 13s. Blake Urquhart moved up, taking P2. Not a whole lot of difference here. 14.157 to a 14.270. And then Banks even with a 3.39. Damien Cross doing well. Qualifying P5. Watching the stream, don't be shy, jump in that chat. We won't bite too hard. We do have those sound effects controls down underneath, so you can actually play them over the stream. So you can applaud, cheer, boo. A few funny sound effects for all different things. So do have some fun. Doesn't cost you anything to do it. It will be recorded to be able to be uploaded when we throw it all over to YouTube later. So do check out our social media links down below. We are live on Twitch. We do archive everything into YouTube, so we can only keep our videos on demand after going live for a couple of weeks on Twitch. So he's an absolute treasure trove over there on YouTube of all past championships. Heavy rear left brake. Mark Cochran is on a 1:16.311. Extra driver registering in, that Sebastian Vandel. He did retire out early after incident. He's putting in some pretty good pace, struggled to get a qualifying lap in, made up some big ground in the opening laps. And did park up after an off track. That's probably an off track and done the lap. That's alright, it's final lap. It's just going to be a bit of practice for him at this point. So there's only a few drivers left out on track. That's probably going to boot us over pretty quick. The pre-race session. We've got Jason Schooler will improve his time as fast as a 1:15.536. No. Oh, yes, there is a movement. It's a 3:15. Moves up into P7, gaining an extra position. So we'll check out these qualifying results now before we have iRacing kick us over into the race. And at Willow Springs for the Pagnian Super 2 Series Round 3. Pole position currently is for Ricky Hyde, a 1:14.157. And then the rest of the grid is then Blake Urquhart, Damon McDonald, Stephen Banks, Damon Cross, Robbie Bradbury, Jason Schooler. Oh, we've been kicked across really quick, so it's now muddled that up completely. We did have Ricky Hyde with that pole, so we'll jump over and check him out. So it does give us all sorts of weird data. Once it starts gridding them up, it's essentially just the order that it throws the cars into the session until the race goes green. Five drivers ready to get going. I don't think anyone's going to be contemplating a pit lane start. There's ample room for the grid side. There we go. It's going to be a fantastic view to the start. Waiting on Blake Gallen, Stephen Banks, John Gallen, and Robbie Bradbury to grid. Seconds remaining. John Gallen to grid now. He's done. So there we are. Lights about to go green for round 3. Team luck for a clean opening lap.
Green, green, green.
Pretty good getaway, but there's a bit of movement here going on. Banks trying to make some movement. He's up alongside of Blake Urquhart. Ricky Hyde, Dave McDonald pulls away nicely. Banks is going to have a nice inside line here and get the run of Blake Urquhart. But if he stays door to door, he's going to lose that advantage coming into turn 3. Dave McDonald already putting in some big pace here. Yeah, Blake Urquhart gets that advantage. Banks not giving up. And there's a big runner team here. Banks, Cross, Bradbury, Arnie, and John Gallen. A bunch of PER cars from P4 through, actually, yeah, just Schooler, through to P9. Ricky Hyde already losing out to Damon McDonald. It's the run of him through Sector 2. Hyde's going to have to stay in that draft. Read those last corners of Sector 3. Otherwise he's going to start pulling away. Oh, there's a car darting off into the pits. It's a jump start potentially. Oh no, it's an off track completely. That's John Gallen. Thought he might have been deciding to head off into the pits. In case there was a jump start, he may have had some damage here. It's going to cost him his race pretty hard. Another car also following us, Blake Gallen. No register of contact, unless there's some netcode going on. Not going to get a qualifying laps, making up some ground. He's just got side by side with Philip Furlow and got the move. Mark Cochran contesting with Furlow as well. Rounding up multiple cars just for that sector. McDonald starting lap 3, pushing out a gap of 1.4 seconds. It's pushing hard very early. A bit more luck for Stephen Banks as well. Up very early at Imola. John Gallen back out on track. 5.2 seconds stop. 11 seconds for Gallen. Sorry, Blake Gallen. So the two Gallons. This has had an off track again as well. Holding some pretty good pace at the moment. She's on the tail of Simmons, but we've got McCrosty starting to close in on the two very quickly. Oh no, he's lost it off in the back there. That could be drastic. And there's contact between Piccoli and Simmons. Simmons pulled up before going off into the wall. It's a slight mistake from McCrosty. Made up from the two cars ahead going off. Some front left quarter panel damage there, and Simmons coming in. Will Piccoli have to come in the pits as well? Fortunate for the two drivers. Hyde's pace starting to drop off. Sorry, landing 14s practice in the qualifying. That lap before is 16. McDonald is pushing ahead, still in the 14s, even in these opening laps. And Damien Cross just setting a 115 flat. All the drivers both run rather wide. Big objects fixation, I think that is. Must be Jason Schooler. Green wheels, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's severely an unsafe re-entry. That car's lost control. Nearly taking out Vardell. There was another car that has gone off. It was Furlow. It's the last corner, causing some havoc for the drivers. is cold tyres. Track temperature already 39 degrees, ambience 23. And it's late afternoon temperatures and we are in the middle of the desert. These tyres are going to be going through all sorts of punishment here at Willow Springs. First three starting to pull away. Hyde's definitely going to be having a cross on his rear very soon at this rate. In saying that, with Hyde dropping off pace, this could be strategy. Conserving tyres, conserving fuel. Back from Ricky Hyde's Falcon. That's Damien Cross, BF Commodore. Topping out just under 250 Ks. There's going to be a move here for sure. Slingshot out, but on the outside line, this is going to be hard to hold. Simmons having a 10.7 second stop to make use of the fast repair. Coley also coming in 7.9 seconds in the pits. It's not too much of a splash. It's probably going to be over here or there. We feel this early on. Banks starting to close in and put some pressure. Dave Barney here very shortly. Very similar lap times to Arnie ahead. Previous lap 15.640 to a 6.32 by Arnie. There you go, we've got some action going on up ahead here now. It's a lap traffic to contend with. Some pretty big movement here for Mark Cochran. He's made up 5 positions over these 7 laps. Laganda's moved up 2 spots. Team Apex following P8, sorry, P8, P9. That's actually lap traffic, I think. Philip Furler, yes, that is. So he's just moved aside. Seth McCauley. That's a toe for Vandel. It's a bad luck having the toe. He parked up the car for the night. You can get back on that track and try and recover some ground. On lap 10, just over a quarter of the way through. Despite the early pit for John Gallen, he's moved back up into P12. But having it hit that early on, he's going to have to make another stop for fuel. It's going to be costly. Jenny, thanks for joining us. How are you? Like another car lost off in the back there. That's Dave Arney. Stephen Banks moves on up. Choosing the pit in. Taking fuel here for Arnie. Can he be able to last out 25 minutes? Small lack traffic coming ahead. Like blink out for the furloughs. Have to do a tow as well, or he's parked the car up and he's just waiting in at the moment. 139.6 seconds and counting. Can't actually pick him because it's not going to show. In the car at the moment. Bit of confusion there from a car deciding to not go into the pits, or they're just recovering from a wide run through that last corner. Dave McDonald hits in, so that sees Ricky Hyde take the race lead. He's still got Damien Cross holding behind. Very similar in lap times. Last week it was just about Damien Cross that was the only driver not to actually have to take the second stop to grab the fuel to make it home. We had the rest of the race leaders that he's battling with all peel off. He stayed out. He had Ian Zhu pick him off in the last lap, who had made those early stops for fuel. Had no need for conserving towards that back end. Cross had to try and conserve as much as he can in that last lap, but still held on to a podium finish. So tuck behind here with Hyde. Not overly push it. He could do well strategy-wise for another strong finish. Banks to go for an outside move through the final corner. Oh, big pace. What a pass on the outside of the corner coming in. Lucky Erger wasn't going to go off into the pits. Almost thought Banks is going to come in for a very hot entry to the pits. It's one of those moves where it's all or nothing. Paid off for Banks. Crossops to come in for laps away from the halfway point. We saw max exodus coming into the pits at that halfway point last week. Before, seen him come back in P8. He's the first car of all those ahead, P1 to 7. That's actually been in and taken on that fuel. That's after Damon leading for 10 laps. Now has Ricky Hyde leading for 3. There's definitely some fuel conservation going on here. He's not pushing the car, plus the tyres are probably starting to feel a bit how you're going. Track temperature's held on at 39 degrees. Ambient hasn't increased, humidity's remained. Yeah, this is some big conserving. Maybe trying to look at actually conserving out towards the halfway point. If you can squeeze in another lap or two and then come in and grab the fuel. May have a nice run to be able to slog out the last 20 minutes. Yeah, stays out on track. Some strategy at play here. Cart's picked up some pace as well. After losing the position to Banks, started to close in a little bit more. Winrose had the tow. Furlow not getting back in the car. Vandel also not getting back in the car. It's Blake Gallen making way around Coley under blue flags. Cochrane and Gander now moving up into P6, P5. More positions after the front queue making the pit. We're reaching that halfway point now, so if they've been able to make it this far, they have to pit in this lap, or even so the following lap, they're going to be in an even better position to be able to last out that race. Yeah, now they go stay for another lap, so we're seeing minute 18, the last lap's a little bit of conserving. There's a bit of a blink there going on for Gander. He's moved up to P4, Cochrane P5. So sees Callahan in the pits grabbing that fuel now. The end of lap 15. Urquhart makes a mistake there. Light fuel, possibly cooked tyres as well. As the afternoon setting in, looks to be that the track temperature's dropping. We've lost a degree. So we may see another few degrees drop every time we get to those last few laps. So we see the massive number on that standings tower over on the far right under that row where the flag is. That is their pit stop time. You can see it counting at the moment for Stephen Banks. We'll see he's in the pit box. When we see the large number, like we do for Dan Winrow, the 1777 something, we should get a whole big bunch of numbers. That means that their stop was under tow. It's led for the last 6. It's pushed out pretty good. To get to the end of lap 17 before needing fuel. Damon McDonald pit early. He's 29.5 seconds away from race lead. The first of the front runners to have stopped for the fuel. If that stop was a little bit too early and he's going to have to come back in again, which he's doing, this is going to be beneficial here for race leader Hyde, who's lasted that out to nearly 17.5 minutes. Blake Urquhart in the box behind. It's a bit of a long stop here for Hyde, 23.8 seconds. Hyde drops down to P4. Banks pit earlier. He's in P3, but should be fine fuel-wise as well. He didn't stop too early. Dave Arney did have a much earlier stop. Damien Cross appearing to have been conserving rather early as well, and doing well to conserve in the back end. If he's not going to lose too much pace, he is going to have to conserve again. He's going to be in for a pretty good shot here, because this is going to be a lap lead. Here with Damien Cross. Appears to be no fuel conserving going on at this point. Traffic there. It's Blake Gallen. It's P13, currently a lap down. Schooler going in. The second pit. Dane McDonald having a second pit already. Last stop, 11.8 seconds. Oh, that's a heavy lock to that rear left coming down into turn 1. He's pushing this car, and with that second stop, should not have any dramas. Just as we saw last week at Imola, he was just able to actually push that car to the maximum through that second stint. Had no qualms about fuel. Russell Gander and Mark Cochrane still holding on to each other. They've been chasing each other for a good portion of this race. Mark Cochrane gets a pretty good run here as well. See him darting around, probing for an opportunity. Staying in that slipstream, waiting for an opportunity to get around Gander. There's been too many drivers that are actually closing in on the gaps. Cochrane seems to be making most gain on the car ahead at this stage. There's a good few seconds between the rest, and then a huge lead at the moment for David Cross. Where's that David Simmons? This looked like he's going to run wide. He was staying very wide on the track under the blue flags to let these front runners through. He's starting to trail by 8 seconds. Mark Cochrane makes the move. Bit of a slingshot down pit straight. Only having one pit stop, but they did last out a fair while before needing to come in. So fuel wise and tyres, they should be good. Those track temperatures are dropping a little bit. Oh, big lock there. It's going to give the position back to Gander. Let's turn the car around as well. Fair bit of gap until Schooler. Can he get back out there? He's going to be struggling. The dirt around Willow Springs very loose. Here comes Schooler. That momentum gained on Gander, now lost. That sees Cochrane move into P10. About a 14-second gap for Gander to Schooler. About 7 seconds for Bradbury ahead. So a nice bit of clear track just to focus on those lap times now. Banks closing in to coming to Changle early on last week. Some lap traffic here as well. Same corner where Simmons stayed to the outside line. It is a pretty good corner to be able to get around like that. Cross loses that huge lead, coming in for the second stop, so not enough to conserve. So there's 9 minutes left here. So those drivers that have lasted out to just over the halfway point are going to be looking pretty good here to potentially do this race with a one-stop run. Dave Arney's only done a one-stop. I believe that was pretty early. I'm sorry, I'm running rather wide out into the dirt through the final turn and then end up going into the pits. Pretty sure he's going to have to make a second stop. Two drivers to watch. Ricky Hyde and Blake Urquhart, who both hit at the same time, well past the halfway point. I think it was about 18, 19 minutes on the clock. Looking back from Stephen Banks, Falcon. Seeing Ricky Hyde trying to hang on to the tail. Hyde's not having to push here. So he's got ample fuel. He can just sit back and open his opportunity when it arrives. They're not going to be getting any of that information that we can see. And in comes Dave Arney for that second stop. Will Banks need to make a second stop? I definitely think he's going to have to do it. So it sees Blake Urquhart move up. Damon McDonald, who's also got sufficient fuel. He's done it with 2 stops as well, so he's out there on much fresher rubber. So there's no holding back here for McDonald. 10 seconds away from race lead. Simmons again getting past in that same corner. He's actually pretty lucky it's occurring there. You don't have to lose a whole lot of pace. Keep that momentum up. Hiding by the blue flag. Through and see how everyone's going. So we're going to feel Buckle in P18. Sophie Piccoli 17th. David Simmons P16. Duncan McCrosty P15. Dan Munro P14. He did have a toe. So that set him back. Pretty sure it was around a time that he could have taken the fuel at the exact same time as the toe, get back out on the track. So it's probably going to be looking pretty good. Blake Allen P13. Mark Cochran P12. That's John Gallen that he's now doing battle with in P11. Looks like Gallen may be pulling away a little bit though. Darryl Callahan P10. Mason School P9. Russell Gander P8. Dave Arney after the second stop coming in back in P7. Bradbury P6. Damon Cross after the second stop P5, so he can now also just put the foot down. Won't have to worry about that conserving because he's taken in enough fuel. There's a car off. Yes. Cole or Buckland? I think it's Buckland. Speed looks slow. P4. 1.6 seconds away from Blake Urquhart. He's holding P3. He should be fine fuel-wise to be able to push through these last 4 minutes. Ricky Hyde P2. Had 5 lead changes with Dave Arney P2. Oh, that's a move from a Hyde. Sneaks in for the race lead. Very wide. Banks stays on the tail. He's going to slingshot out here. What a fight between these two. Going to be interesting here for turn 1. Plenty of room given. Banks gets run out of here. I think he may be enough car lengths ahead for the following corner. Hyde pulls out. So Banks pulls back into the lead. Ricky Hyde, P2. So race leads have been Damon McDonald leading for 10 laps. And Ricky Hyde leading for 8. Damien Cross leading for 5. 3 by Stephen Banks and 2 by Dave Arney. So a lot of movement going on. 2 minutes 25 left. Oh, there's a car off up here. You can see some tyre tracks going off. It's Callahan. Oh, he's taking some damage to the car up ahead as well. It's just gone off. Show you that is. I can't even see a slow car. I think that was Ricky Hyde. So I've seen him drop to P4. It's unfortunate we've only 1 to 2 laps left in the race. So things are looking pretty good for Banks here unless he's going to have to do a last lap pit. Saw the race leaders at Imola peel off the second last lap just to grab that fuel to be able to bring the car home for the final lap. Looking pretty good here for a podium. He's got McDonald closing in pretty quick. McDonald goes off track, he saves the car. The car behind is lap traffic, so there's nothing to worry there. For McDonald to try and save the series lead and be in a strong position to come into round 4 and ultimately the final round. To try and finish up that top end as much as he can if he can pick off Blake Urquhart here. Because Urquhart is sitting P3 in the championship. It's an off car. I think it's Buckland's car. That's not Buckland's car. Blackbeard's not sure whose that is. It's Nick Winrose. For an outside move, we saw a fantastic pass by Banks at the exact same position. McDonald's going to go for the outside of turn 1. That car gives it up without a fight. It's been for the checkered flag, so that's why it was given up. So it was already crossed the line, so Dave McDonald P3, so Banks crossed and got the checkers. So wrapped up as the final lap. The guys doing some burnouts. Banks P1, Blake Urquhart P3, sorry P2, Damon McDonald P3, Damon Cross takes 4th. Hyde drops down into 5th. Bradbury into 6th. Russell Ganders crossing the line for P7. Jason Schooler takes 8th. If anyone's going to have enough fuel to be able to get this jump. Dave Arney 9th. John Gallen 10th. Duncan McCroskey takes 11th. Mark Cochran, P12. He's going for a jump there. Blake Gallen takes 13th. Simmons got up there. I think there's just been a jump there for Cole. There we go. We just had a car rolling. Actually, might even just go back and watch the replay. There is some pretty good jumps on here. We do sometimes miss the jumps. Go. That's where we saw the other car come and plonk straight back down. Well done. We usually miss out on those. So we're all usually doing it on the next lap, but it's in those first few corners. So we'll check a look down at the results now. We have 31 laps at Willow Springs for round 3 of the Pagnian Imports Super 2 Series. Our race winner for round 3 is Stephen Banks, having gained 3 positions and taking the checkered flags. Well done, Stephen. And then on the podium, P2 is Blake Urquhart, and then P3 is Damon McDonald. And then we have for the rest of the standings is then Damien Cross, Ricky Hyde, Dave Arney, Robbie Bradbury, Russell Gander, Jason Schooler, John Gallen, Daryl Callahan, Duncan McCroskey, Mark Cochran, Blake Gallen, Daniel Winrow, David Simmons, Stephanie Piccoli, Philip Buckland, Sebastian Barndell, and Philip Thurlow. Got our drivers ready to go in the waiting room. We do bring them all across now. And congratulations, Banksy. Nice win there.
Hey, yeah, that was good fun. Hard work.
It's a tough track, Willow Springs.
Yeah, it is. You kind of one time the tire in the dirt, and next thing you're 200 meters off the track. So yeah, it's pretty that way, but it's got a good flow to it. It's a lot of fun to race, so drive. So yeah, good fun.
Ample room to get alongside and make some different line passes as well. She had a pretty good pass coming out just around that pit entrance, just out on the outside line down pit straight.
Yeah,
when you were getting Ricky, I think it was.
Yeah, that was kind of thought that was the only way I could really do it, was to go around outside, and I knew I wasn't going to get clear, but at least it would put me to the inside line for the next right-hander after that. So, which it did, and it's pretty hard to hold the outside line around that one.
Yeah,
so yeah, no, it was really good fun racing with her tonight. It was yeah, super good. It was super clean and very hardy. Kind of had the pace in the corners, but then I was still trying to fuel save as well that last stint a little bit. Which
yeah, he lasted through the one stop. I thought we went in a little bit earlier than the halfway point, so I didn't know if he may have just had to go back in for a quick splash in those last couple of laps.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, so I was still trying to fuel save to get an extra lap, and then I probably realised with about 5 laps to go, that maybe 4 laps to go, that I could actually just, yeah, kind of get on it. But then even the second lap, when I saw Ricky have his little off, I was still stressing about the fuel, so I backed it right off just in case there was an extra lap. We didn't get white flag or something like that, but
yeah,
it
came
all worked
up
out
pretty
well.
quick. I thought there would have been another lap, but yeah, he just was approaching the control line at the right time for it to quickly wave a white flag. And
yeah, I tried to do a really slow lap on that one before the white flag, just to make sure the time worked out in my favour. Yeah.
Here I was hoping for one more.
That's it. Yeah, with the second stop early and you were
bet you were.
in, you didn't have to hold back at all.
It didn't work out quite the way it did last time, but no, props to the boys. They did well.
And you're closing
Some good
in
battles.
on Blake too, towards the back end. Only a 10th difference in the finish.
He made it impossible to try and get around on the last lap, that's for sure. And that last turn, it's hard to try and find a line in there through there without, risking something.
especially for the last lap to try and make that last move. You don't have that next corner to try and back it up with. So
Nah, but no, that was a good battle. Good race altogether from everyone.
and you even had a little lucky save as well. So you dropped a tyre off in the dirt when you're chasing down Blake. I think those last few laps.
Yeah, I started to lose the front left a bit, but a few little mistakes here and there throughout the race didn't help. But hey, that's what it is.
Yeah, and same for you too, Blake. There was I think after the second hairpin up the top of the hill, a bit of a wide line. You managed
Yeah,
to
turn
pull the
5, eh?
car
Is that the
back
one?
in. That's the one.
Oh yeah, I went for a ride for that one, that's for sure. Nah, field save at the start, and it paid off for the second. So went hard all day after that. So good little battle at the end with Damien. That was pretty cool. Coming up to a lap car, I was just trying to pick that right line so you didn't get past me. That was
Lucky me.
yeah, nah.
Yeah,
No,
I saw
that was
I
nah.
was just like, oh, this will be well timed for one of yous here.
Yeah, I said him in the mirror and I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. Here we go. Got to get it right.
It helped me out a bit, but it was still difficult to pass it through the S's and then just coming around when we're both holding it flat's a bit hard.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Getting that aero watch from you.
Oh, yeah, you'd be loving that. Get away from that stuff. Nah, good win, Banksy, and yeah, good race to everyone else, and yeah, nah, glad to be back up here again. So
Yeah,
on the next
we were
week.
saying in the chat before, bit of a drought for you from the podium.
Yeah, it would have been from last season, so
Yeah,
good to be back up again. So
that's it, and then all the best for next week. So Winton will be a little bit more difficult to get around for some passes compared to Willow Springs.
Yeah, no, it should be good.
Follow the leader with some good little runs to
Should
make
be
up
easier
through
on
the
the field
hairpins.
too, I think.
Yeah, it should be a lot easier. It's not going to be as
So,
fast paced.
Probably
So,
get through it for one stop.
yeah,
Don't have to fuel save.
be interesting to see how he's go.
Should be great. Well
Yeah,
done,
looking
guys.
forward to it.
Yeah,
Good
well
race,
done,
guys.
Congrats.
Yeah, good stuff,
thanks,
everyone.
JT.
Good luck with
Thanks,
round
JT.
4.
Yep.
Cheers,
Yeah,
JT.
cheers, mate. Thanks
Yeah.
for the note.
No worries.
All right.
There we have our podium finishes with Stephen Banks taking the checkered flag for round 3 at Willow Springs International Raceway. We've got Blake Urquhart P2 and Damon McDonald P3. And we'll be back again next Monday night at 7:35 PM for the stream. And then we will be here for Winton Motor Raceway Nationals. It's going to be a great one for the Legacy V8 Supercars getting around Winton, so do stay tuned. If you haven't done so, hit the follow button so you'll be notified when we go live, and it'd be great if you can help us grow to that 430 follower count. We're only a few away, so it'd be fantastic to see if we got that before we head into Winton. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you trackside next week.